Hi, I'm KV.
And I'm B, and we are so grateful to have you listening to our podcast.
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe or the follow along button so you never miss an episode. It really means the world to us.
Thanks for listening. Welcome to Sex and the One, the podcast with B and KV.
Getting down and dirty about all things love, life, sex, dating, and relationships. Woo! Welcome back
To another episode of Sex and the One.
Sex, dating, and
I think
relationships.
we got that wrong. Isn't it like love, sex, dating, relationship? Why
don't
do I keep
know.
saying love anyway?
I don't know, but sometimes we think, oh, geez, this topic related, and I think, well, it doesn't actually matter at this point. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we're allowed to have opinions on whatever the fuck we feel like having opinions on. People
Whatever.
can listen, and or they can not listen. It's up to them. Yeah,
Listen or not listen? That is the
listen or not to listen.
question.
Yeah.
Look at us.
What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, we've got a little bit to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Do we?
I really want to talk about. I've got some prompting questions to chat about regarding cuddle therapy.
Oh,
Yep. So there's thoughts on that, which we will go into more depth on. There's some facts and figures that I want to talk through. Some thoughts on that.
Okay, right.
And then I really want to get into, and I think this is that fear popping up again, but that separation in your middle years
Yes.
of life.
yes.
In your 50s specifically. There's just a lot happening around me that's popped up that I just thought, this is a topic for discussion.
Okay.
So, you go through your journey, you've been in a relationship, you've had your kids, and then they grow up, and then what?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And then what?
And then what?
And then what?
And then what? And yeah, that's a fear that's lived in me for a little while, but it's come unfolding for some people within my circle. So I just thought I want to touch on that. Anyway,
Okay. Let's
start with the cuddle therapy.
Okay.
Overall thoughts before I even.
Well, I'm glad you asked because I do have overall thoughts. Like, why does
What are your
why does cuddle belong with therapy? Because therapy, can I tell you, when I was writing my book and my editor was reading my book, which thank God we love her for, like, I didn't even know her
she
for
was
Bar of
beautiful.
Soap, and she read my book and gave comments on how to describe anal sex better. Anyway, that's not what I was going to discuss. I'd said to her, my kids went to therapy, and I meant occupational therapy, speech therapy, right? Because like autism. And she goes, no, therapy is widely considered to be psychological therapy. And so she basically advised that I don't use the word therapy. I'm talking about my children if I want people to think what I'm actually saying.
Oh.
And I hadn't realised therapy was a bigger word for me than it apparently appears to be. So when you say therapy, people are thinking counselling.
Well.
Yeah. And so when you put the word cuddling with counselling...
Therapy, you mean?
What?
Well, cuddling is an antidepressant. Like, that's the fact. That is, I'm sorry, that is what it is. And we are wired to need human touch throughout life. When we get it, the hug, oxytocin or touch is released. Cortisol is lowered, and so is adrenaline. So our nervous system is then activated. Without human touch and interaction, we get depressed and anxious. You know those volunteers at the Children's Hospital that go and hug babies or hold babies for that skin to skin?
Yes.
When the baby's first born, where does the baby go? It's for these reasons, these scientific reasons. So I know I'm understanding your hang up on the word therapy. Maybe there needs to be another word for it. But overall opinion, without looking too far into it before I ask these prompting questions, cuddling, I would say I'm all for it.
Amazing. Cuddling's amazing.
Yeah.
But what is this? What is this therapy you speak of?
So benefits
Explain
of
that to
hiring
me.
a cuddle therapist. Cuddling gives a sense of connection. Tick. If you whatever your love language is, people want to feel that, I would say. Yeah? Like let's look at like the worst extreme.
There would be elements of how much, but absolutely.
Yes. But like if you look at like the worst extreme, let's talk about, our youth. When they join a gang, they're looking for connection of some sort, community connection. There's always this that was a pinnacle of one of our bloody, projects back in the day.
Yeah. People need people, 100%.
Yes,
I
people
agree.
need people.
Yep.
Okay. It can be therapeutic, comforting and healing, reduce stress we've mentioned, and help people sleep. It can increase confidence. Think about that. You're being held or hugged. I don't know if it's returned. I don't know the ins and outs of like how it would go. Do you need to hug back, or are you just being hugged?
You sung me on cuddling, which I didn't need selling on, but yes, you're further selling me on cuddling.
Okay, you like this? Like,
I'm fine. But like, where does the therapy come in? What's this therapist doing?
Well, I don't know the answers to that question yet.
Okay,
we need to find one. Because the argument is that psychologists and professionals in the area are seeing more cuddles therapists emerge, but don't feel that they're qualified to give therapy.
Right. Yep.
And they're saying they're underqualified to be providing this space.
Are they just cuddling?
I'm assuming, but look, when I think of a cuddle therapist, I think of my husband.
Yeah.
Because he is the man that you want a cuddle from.
100%.
And I said to him, I think this is your new career.
I'm pretty sure I did 20 minutes on a pod about it.
Yes. and every
Best
girlfriend
hugger
I
I've ever
have
met
is like, can I have an nth hug? And
Yeah.
I'm like, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
And it's the embrace, it's the warmth, it's
Yep.
the energy that you receive, and the fact he can hold it. So for me, I said to him, look, I think this is your next career move.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
I think you provide a beautiful space for people that are willing to
100%,
accept it.
but if he charges money for it,
I said, I think the first couple of sessions, you got to do like a Bonnie Blue, where like you have like a Guinness record thing. This is my serious thought.
Yeah, you put
It's
Bonnie
for free.
Blue and your husband in the same sentence, but all right. Okay, everyone following along.
How many people can I hug for no cost to show what it offers? Because I honestly think there's something in it. He can hold that for someone and energetically remove it.
1000% agree with you.
We're not talking about
I wouldn't pay for a hug though. I wouldn't pay for a hug.
If you would, okay. Where else do you get your hugs from?
Well, I get my hugs from my children. Yeah.
You have someone that your children are emotionally intelligent, and if you ask for one, logically they will give you the hug and know maybe underlying, they can read you and your energy. If you don't have someone that can do that for you, where do you go for that? Like, where would you go? Would you, if you didn't have the boys and Caitlin, would you?
So I think what I would do is I wouldn't realize I needed a hug, I think.
Until you got one.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't know what I was missing. You know, it's like not having an orgasm. You don't realize how good an orgasm is until you have one. And then you go,
That's
oh, shit,
true.
why don't I do that more often? I think so then you just wouldn't have one. And then when you do have one, you go, oh, fuck, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would know it was missing.
I don't know, but for some people, like, that physical touch is a love language. And if you're not getting it, where are you getting it from? Like, do you pay, a sex worker or like, I think
there's definitely sex workers that give massages with happy endings, stuff like that, which is probably a similar thing.
There's sugar mamas, sugar daddies that just sit there and talk to people because of that's connection. Like,
well, you know Gary V. Gary V.
Yeah.
He talks about he thinks the next wave of people making money is going to be people being paid to walk with you.
Walk and talk.
Walk friends. Yeah.
Why don't you start that? That's amazing.
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
That's for
walk
free.
with random people. I know. So not only does it increase, like, help with sleep, it increases confidence, which I can understand the flow-on effect from a hug. Like, if you leave feeling better than what you felt when you first came in, there's your little confidence boost.
Yes.
Helps with body image.
Yes.
Relieves depression and anxiety. Communicates a sense of being accepted and valued. And leave a peaceful feeling that can last for days or weeks. Touch therapy releases hormones like oxytocin and dopamine, which can give a cuddle high.
Oh.
Oxytocin is also involved in emotional bonding, which is where we're coming from with the babies. and helps people feel safe to lower their guard, which creates a sense of closeness when cuddling. You know, when you're vulnerable and when you lower your guard, talking about that, that is that underlying, you know, when Brene Brown talks about it, like that's how we connected.
Yes, 100%. That's how we connected.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but if you had said, Chris, I just want to hug you right now, like what you're going through is a lot, that'll be $5.
oh no, I'm not gonna pay.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
I think
would people pay?
I 1,000% agree with the value.
It might be cheaper than a psych. I don't know.
Look. Should you pay for it? I don't know, but I guess there's something for everyone. I guess there's some people that prefer to pay for it rather than and have it as a transactional thing. But I don't know. I think it loses its feeling if you add money into the equation.
Yeah. No,
I love an Anth hug, but if Anth said, "Chris,
give me some
pay
money
me
for
some
that,
money,"
babes.
I think no.
Well, this is the question: are cuddle therapists untrained scammers?
Do you think they are?
I don't know. Do they really exist? I don't know.
They would. Everything exists.
I'm not sure. I mean, if people are paying for, you could say anyone's a scammer that does something alternative.
Yes, you could.
And
look, there'd be plenty of people that would willingly. They've got plenty of money. They'd be willingly give away the money. I do know someone who paid for a sex worker, and they just hugged them for an hour.
You got to know what you need, and if there's a service out there that fills a gap, no matter how niche that gap is, then it's a job.
I think the issue is calling it therapy.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
That's the issue, and I agree that that's problematic.
So should it be regulated?
Well,
that's the next
if you
question.
don't call it therapy, then it doesn't have to be regulated. So don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
So it's got to be called a cuddle sesh.
Just what it is. Cuddle Town.
It's funny because they're saying that many of the people offering these services, they're calling them vulnerable and intimate support. They're not registered counsellors or psychologists.
Because they're not.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
How touch-starved are we?
I don't know, because it's one of those things you don't know you touch-starved till you touch-starved. I mean, you ask a mother with young children if she's touch-starved, I would think she's the opposite. It's like, get the fuck off me and stop touching me all the time. You know how little kids touch you all the fucking time?
I do, but it's a different touch.
So I think they're not touch-starved.
Yeah, so maybe not touch-starved, but being held, like being... you can communicate with a hug. You can communicate with the right sort of touch.
Yep.
That touching from a child is different to maybe the touch that you would be needing to feel.
So do you think people are touch-starved? Like, do you meet someone and think you're touch-starved?
Well, this goes into our next topic.
Which is?
About, couples separating later in life. After they've, raised their family and everyone's, out of the nest sort of thing. Like, what's happened for that to eventuate? Has it been that there hasn't been enough physical, intimacy or connection? Is it that there's no lack of communication? Has the passion, where is that? Where are you at? People sleep in different beds. Like, for most of their relationship. Their children are witnessing that. Like, whatever. Like, that's up to you, however you choose to live your life. But clearly, there's something amiss here for the rates of divorce and separation to be increasing for couples later in life.
What do you think it is? Because I can go there. But what do you think it is?
I think the women that I have been speaking to got married earlier in life. And perhaps they were married to someone that they didn't really know awfully well, and then they got stuck. And they got stuck with kids and a husband and a household that they just lived day by day in and couldn't see a way out.
Or didn't think
and they're entrenched. Yeah, entrenched in
I can tell you for me, so I'm 53, as a lot of people know.
Yeah.
I was raised in an environment whereby the goal was to get married and have children. And because I was a woman, it was my role to have the children, obviously. And that was my goal. So I remember being 18 and falling in love with the man, and then I wanted to marry him. At 18, I wanted to marry him. I'm pretty sure I asked him to marry me every day from when I was like 20. We were married at 22 and had our first child at 24. I did, and I've discussed this before in relation to other topics, I complete what I start. And I started, I was going to find a man and I was going to get married and have my children, because I did not consider any other options. Did not consider. And I was fully and completely in love with him. And wanted to, I was told this was joy. There was no other option. You have to get married. That's where the joy is. And at 22, apparently I knew who I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. Now, my children, my youngest is 21. None of my children are married. And I have told them all the opposite.
Do not do that.
Not like don't get married, but be in no rush to get married.
Yeah.
Live
Take
your
your
own
time.
life.
Yeah.
Choose your own, make your own decisions. Don't be picking what society wants for you. And I think I'm not alone in being head over heels for this man who may or may not want to go on the same journey with me. I think it's a big ask to have someone at 22 still want to be with them at 52. I think it's a big ask to spend 30 years with someone and then just assume you're going to grow together. I think I think it's awesome if people can do it. I think many can't. And especially in our generation where we didn't make the decision based on mutual interests necessarily. We want to marry this guy because he's in front of us. And, like there was no world outside our world. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a pretty small world. So you met with this guy, he treated you well enough, you married him.
Yep.
And I think that when you become a mother, your role is to raise the children. Like I was so far beyond my family's needs when I didn't change my name. That was unbelievable back then. That people, my family were angry. His family were angry, and his mum almost didn't come to my wedding. She was so angry I wasn't changing my name. And then after I had the kids, I wanted to both work part-time. We both work part-time, have the kids in, babysat 2 days a week, and then we're both working 4 days. Like how cool is that? We're both raising the children. That was not met with well. And I, of course, back then was, like, no, I'm doing whatever works for me. But I was kind of like in some ways ahead of my time in relation to that, and in some ways behind, obviously. But like I feel like in your 50s, if you have gone down the path of you've raised those kids, your identity becomes a part of being a mother, and that's who you are. You're a mother.
You get lost.
You're not your own person. And if you've not worked for a bunch of years, which I did in the middle, as you know, you become a mother only. And so then you hit your 50s, your kids are done. Who are you?
Again.
Who are you?
Fucking again.
And then you turn around and you're with this guy who you've been with for 30 years, who most of the time hasn't grown with you.
Yeah.
They haven't grown with you. They haven't chosen the relationship. Because people don't, probably because they didn't in the first place. People don't go, choose each other and let's have date nights and stuff. That wasn't, back in the day, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
You raised your kids and he made the money. And then he watched sports on the weekend and you let him watch the sports and you cook his meals and serve him. Like that's honestly, that's how it went down. Right?
I think the younger generation of women have really risen to the table.
I agree.
And I think they've inspired the women that are saying, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I choose joy and happiness over this. My kids are happier with us not together.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's something to be proud of.
I agree. I think there's a lot of pride in because it's been so long in society that you're a loser if you're single, because the lie that they sell women. Yeah. and that, you know, you got to fall in love, have your happy ever after, and have your wedding dress, and like have your day, and blah 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 blah, and that you're just gonna be happy forever.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
And when you realize that's a lie, not continuing the lie is the cool thing, because people in previous generations will just go, I've been married 70 years, and maybe the guy's been good, maybe he hasn't to them, but they'll stay together because it's more important to have the story of the 70 years than it is to have the joy. And I think there's a lot of people who in my generation are going, I'll take the joy actually, and I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me for ending something that isn't serving me now.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I think it's just taken those multiple years of growing the kids to build the strength to be like, I've had enough and I'm out.
And seeing what else is out there, because now we've got the internet and we've got comparison and we can see.
But sometimes it's not
how
even
we've
about
been treated.
Yeah. It's not even seeing, you know, do I want another man? It's not even jumping into another relationship. It's just spending time with yourself.
Yep.
Learning more about yourself, traveling, doing things that you enjoy.
But when I say see what's out there, I mean see what other women have done.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, like see what other women have done with their lives, and you're going, hang on. Well, for example, look at my life, right? Everyone, in 2010, when I became divorced, no one in my life was divorced. Everyone was married. Everyone was with their husband. I was the only one that I knew that was separated, and it was bad. It was like I was seen as a bad thing, and then I had the 4 kids with autism. Poor Chris, poor her, poor this, poor that, right?
Yeah.
And I pulled myself out of it. And in lots of ways, I did lots of things to make sure I was going to have a better life. Because I was, in that moment, I wasn't thinking I'm going to have joy. I was just thinking I'm going to lose my shit and die if I carry on. So I pulled myself out of it. But now you would look at me, traveling, got the podcast, always doing this, doing that, whatever.
You're living.
What are you thinking now? Do you know what I mean?
You're a bit ahead of your time.
Like, and so, yeah.
Yeah, let's take it from that perspective.
Not really. But no, you know what I mean? So it's like there are women now that are doing what I did 15 years ago. And
it's like you paved the way in a way.
Well, I was lucky, is the way I see it.
Not at the time, you didn't feel like that.
Lucky that I got to see the cheating, and I was able to pull the cord. So I was lucky that I had a cord to pull. If there's no cheating and there's no issue,
that's what I mean.
There's no cord.
If people aren't
really
forced,
hard to do.
Yeah, and I don't want to use the word force, but if they're not put in a corner, backed into a corner where they absolutely have to, then some women make the choice not to.
Oh, of course.
And I understand why.
Because it's easier, especially
it's so
splitting up
easier.
finances is hard.
It's a lot.
Splitting up houses is hard.
They're not like some of the women I'm thinking of. They're still living together because separated, but together because it's too hard to.
And also, some people are still on what society thinks of them. Yeah. There's some people like that. But thankfully, society is changing. And I think people have realistic goals. I mean, how realistic is it that you're going to meet someone at 22 that you're still going to be in love with at 72? Like, and I'm not obviously talking about you, because I think you will know
I'm
that.
just but yeah, like
I think you will know that, but I don't think many people do.
Well, I have spoken to Anth about this because I told him that this was something that had come up, and I said, how can we like make sure that this isn't us? Like, I don't want it to be like right now. I don't want that to be me.
It has, it won't be you, because you didn't marry for any of those reasons that the 50-year-olds are married for.
I know, but you've got to be realistic at times. Like, things can change. People can change. I'm not oblivious to that.
Yeah.
I want the happy ending. I want the fairy tale ending. But if something happens, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything, or, I don't know. Yeah. I just need to be open, and we have these discussions.
Yeah.
I want to be with my husband forever. Like, I want to get to the 70th anniversary. How many years is that away? Will you be laughing? Will I be laughing? I don't know.
I might be.
It's 68 years away.
No,
58 years away.
I'm not going.
58?
I think no.
58,
I think I'll be dead.
70. Yeah, that's right.
I'll be
58 years.
But I'll come to you. I'll come to your party.
Anyway, you'll be there by my side in spirit.
Yeah, of course I will. But yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day he's like, hey, what was that restaurant that you said you liked? Can you make sure you send it to me so we can book it for a date night? And I was like, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Listening to me.
That's why I genuinely don't think this is going to happen to you, but I think you're rare. And I think that's why this podcast is so cool, because it's like all the options, everyone's got different lives and different
they do.
thingos.
But you don't get married to think you're going to get divorced. Like, let's be real.
No, you don't. But I actually think that that's where society... it would be helpful for society to head that way.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, why are we thinking that forever? Why is forever the goal?
Yeah.
Like, why is it the goal?
Yeah.
Like to whose benefit is, because then you feel like you failed when you haven't achieved it, and more than half the people don't achieve it, or they're living in separate bedrooms but they're together. So does that mean the goal's wrong? Because I think, it is. I think, why can't you just go, I want to be with you for the next 7 years. I'm down.
After 7 years, our time's expired.
In 7 years. Like you would do that for work. You would do that for any other thing in your life.
That's true.
Why wouldn't you do it with your partner? I don't know. I'm not saying I have the answer. I don't.
Yeah.
But I think the goal's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Some people, like I know her, another Real Housewife. She's been with her partner for years, but they're not married. She goes, I'm not taking that step. I'm engaged and I'll stay engaged, but I'm not financially mixing shit. Yep. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's like, I've got to be smart about it.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be putting myself in that scenario.
No.
So they just don't get married.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, legally, it's the same thing anyway if they live together. So I don't know in America if there's something different about that.
I don't know.
But I'm not sure of the legalities. But that's her stance on it. When someone questioned, like, why aren't you married yet?
Yeah.
She's like, financial reasons just make sense.
But why does marriage, like, what is marriage anyway now? Now that you can live together,
it's acceptable.
Does it make, like, what actually is it? Like,
because historically, like,
historically it was so that the woman could be given to the man because the father used to own her, and now the husband owns her.
Hey, in some cultures that still happens.
Yeah,
it's happening to this day.
So
still.
Yeah, so like, what purpose does marriage have?
Yeah,
for us, other than a cool party, really? I don't know.
Did you have a good party?
No, my wedding was stupid.
Oh, I didn't ever talk to you about that. Sorry.
No,
I don't know.
No, you're fine. No, it was just kind of stupid.
Okay.
Like, it was fun in some ways, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I fell down the stairs at my wedding.
Good. Honeymoon was good.
Where'd you go?
America.
Did you?
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know? You didn't know me then.
Because you said you had the Hotel Aria. That's
hotel.
where Aria came from. How old were you when you had Aria?
25.
Yes, you were similar. You did similar to me.
Well, how old were you when you had Caitlin?
24.
Look at us. Oh, so I'm going to be...
pumping them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not...
I was done by 30.
I was glad my children did not follow my footsteps. And I think a lot of people, like, want their kids to follow their footsteps because then they don't have to question their own choices. I'm happy to question my own choices and learn my lessons and pay them forward.
We're just conscious of how we say things.
Yeah.
Like no sex before marriage or things like that. We don't talk about that. No. That's not.
And also joy is not coming from when
way.
you get married one day. Maybe you don't want to ever get married, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Joy is not from a partner.
No. So in our family, traditionally speaking, Italian,
yes,
you do not have children before you're married.
Yeah.
We were in the car, and I don't know what one of my girls said something. And she goes, well, so what? Like, no, you don't think that you need to be married to have a baby? And she was like, oh, like her views have started to change because that's just because they are like,
because
it just is. Yeah, like you're still a good human if you have a baby when you're not married.
Yeah,
like, well, anyway, that's my belief. But
yes,
what are other things? Like, we're just like, we don't want to. What if one of them turns out to be a lesbian? Like, who cares? I don't want to say you have to marry a man or you have to. It's not that. Well, I don't want them to have the big shindig. I'm like, do you want to go away? I'll pay for you to go overseas to get married. Then we can all go on a holiday.
This is the thing. that people, that's why people get married, to have celebrations of themselves. And that's why they say being single has always been seen as a negative thing, because there's no celebrations about being single.
Why not?
And,
why can't you go on a holiday and celebrate that? Why can't you have a party for being
This is the thing.
awesome?
We should, because actually single people, by and large, are happier than married people. And
you've told me this fact.
Marriage all the time. And I got this from my son Michael, actually, when he was growing up. He would say things like, I'm asexual and I don't ever want to have a partner. And I used to feel sorry for him. Like, oh, the poor thing's never going to have a partner. What the fuck? He was well ahead of his time. Well ahead of his time. The most joyous person I've ever fucking met.
He is actually.
And he does, and he still doesn't ever want to get married. But it's just it's so ingrained in us.
Yeah,
it's just part of the
it is
society.
It's
how we roll.
It's a historical, I guess, fact, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. Anyway, things are changing.
It's a story.
It is a story. Things are changing.
Well, they wrote that Vogue article that I'm in love with.
What?
The Vogue article is having a boyfriend embarrassing.
Oh my God. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing? Is it?
Well, what they're saying is there's a growing trend of women, especially on the socials, that don't post about their boyfriends. They just don't. Yeah.
Because they're embarrassed.
Well, because it's like when they do, it's like cringe instead of being the opposite. It used to be like, look, I'm getting married, look at me.
Yeah.
And now it's like, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And he's irrelevant.
Look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Go us.
Yeah. I'm paraphrasing the article that was really well written in KV land. Yeah, but anyway.
Well, I'm really proud of the women making these choices for themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a really courageous thing to do, to choose to not be stuck and to choose happiness, even though it's scary to think of what you're changing and leaving behind. No,
it's never too late.
That's what I learned from the story anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's, multiple people. I'm not even referring to one.
No.
Yeah.
I've got friends that,
Yeah.
I absolutely have done that. So,
yeah.
So good.
Yep. Love you.
Until next time. See you next week. Love you.
Thanks for listening to Sex and the One, an original podcast created by
KV&B,
produced by
B&KV,
content by
KV&B,
enthusiasm for sex,
B, and mostly KV.